Google is being sued by the European Union. Google is accused of cheating competitors by distorting internet search results. The company could face more than $6 billion in fines. Here with more now is Tim Stenovec, a tech reporter from the Huffington Post. Tim, good to see you.
Good to see you.
So this is all about search. What do they say that Google's doing?
Well, Google controls about 90% of the search market in most European countries. And what the EU is alleging is that Google favors its own shopping results. So these are comparison shopping sites. So if somebody searches for a product to buy, they're going to see results from what's called Google Shopping instead of other comparison shopping sites.
By the way, in the U.S., it's what, 80 or 90%?
Yeah, in the U.S. It's a little bit lower.
A little bit lower.
Yeah.
U.S. considered action like this a couple of years ago and didn't do it.
Yeah, you know, the U.S. opened an investigation, and the investigation went on for a couple of years, and they ultimately found that Google didn't violate any antitrust or anti-competitive laws and in favoring its own search results over those of competitors.
There are those who may be pleased to see some of this action in the EU, right? I mean, companies that have been feuding with Google for a long time, Microsoft, TripAdvisor, Kayak, others.
Yeah, pretty much any competitor to Google you can think of, other search engines. But really, Google's such a huge dominant force in search, and even in mobile search in Europe and in the U.S. But yeah, other companies are okay with this.
This right now is dealing with Google search, but there's also the potential of some action on Android as well. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, you know, they haven't brought formal charges for Android, but the EU Commission is opening an investigation into whether Google's use of Android is actually an issue as well. And Android is a dominant mobile platform, of course, in the world. Over 80% of smartphones use Android. So the EU wants to make sure that Google isn't favoring its own products and services, those things like YouTube or Google Maps in its Android platform, and actually gives consumers choice.
Because they just build everything around everything else.
They build everything around everything else, exactly. I mean, but Android is Google's platform, so of course it's going to feature its own services in that platform.
If this suit is successful, what happens?
Well, Google has 10 weeks to respond to this, but if this does, and Google of course says, hey, you know, customers have lots of different choices to search, and they can go a lot of different places, including Facebook and Yelp, to find information. But if something does happen, Google will have to either pay a fine of over 6 billion euros or change the way it does business in Europe, and that could have huge implications.
More to come. Tim Stenovec, thanks very much.
Thank you.